Hello friends, myself Pradeep Yadav from Citizen College of Commerce. Today we are going to discuss the business regulatory framework. This is the TY becomes compulsory subject, which is learn you the basic elements of the law and regulation which are the formed by the government to regulating the business in a day-to-day life. So in this subject there are the very 6 chapters which are regulating by the 2 semesters. So in a first chapter we are going to discuss in a first lecture the law of contract in a general principle. Basically I am trying this subject is only based on the Indian Contract Act 1872, which is formed by the British government to regulate the individual contract in India before the independence. So we are discuss this unit and some of these points in today's lecture. So first of all we have to before starting the Indian Contract Act we have to know what is a law. So first we are going to getting the information about the law, introduction to law. So we all know that the human being is a society person, or we are civilized person. Civilization is a basic elements of humans. So what is a civilization? If we are talking about the civilization, then we are known that the civilization is considered by one thing when the people is living with each other in a systematic form, that is called as a civilization. We are looking at to the animal, they are not the civilized society because they are living as per their own mindset, their own rules. They don't have follow any single rules. But we if we are talking about the humans, they are regulate with some kinds of the rules. So that rules, or we simply says that the sets of rules is called as a law. So what is the law, or what is the types of law? In a simple way I am saying that the significant way or the systematic way of living things is called as a law. So in a human being we are getting various types of law. If I am simply talking about that, the simply general example is that the nature law. Okay, we are in a morning, we wake up at 4 o'clock, at 8 o'clock. In after we are eating anything, and in a night we are getting to sleep. Why we are following this thing? Because it is a nature law. In the morning we are getting the breath from the morning and the suns, we are getting energetic and we just do that thing, and in a night the everywhere is a darkness and we are getting to be sleep. Our body is automatically accepting that law of the nature and we are regulating by that. In the same sense, human beings are getting the various types of law in their day-to-day life. In another thing I am just saying about that, the social, there are the various social law. Okay, we are accepting the social law also. Okay, if, any human being or every human being is following their own religion. Okay, religion is also giving us various types of the law. If suppose anyone a Christian, he is accepting or following the Bible law. If anyone a Muslim, he is following the rules of the Sharia or Quran. In the same way, the society is giving also some types of law or rules to how do the people have to be obey, or people have to be behave in that society. So this is the basic elements of the law which have to be implemented or have to be obeyed by the any civilized person or the any human being. So understanding to this, we have to be getting to the next point, that the law in current way or in a current manner which we have to be going to be studied. In a simple way, there is a various types of the law which is discriminated in a various course, but in our specifically in our subject we are to be considered only in a 2 way. So first of all, the who makes this law, or who in a public law, who is making these types of the law. In simple way I have to be giving you the same 2 information about that. The state legislative, okay, state form law. Okay, state form law. So what is state form law? Any type of the geographical country, in a simple way we are say that the country, state or municipality or anything which is the governed by the any demographic people or group of the people, they have making some types of the rules which are used to rule that society. In India, we have a democratic country. The parliament is making law for us in a state. If suppose it is Maharashtra, it is Delhi, or it is Gujarat, they are also making some of the rules to govern their people in their own some types of rules and nature. So what types of this state form law? If you consider the example, then I am giving you a simple example for that. The example is that in a Yasva BCom, you have studied the Indian Companies Act. Okay, Indian Companies Act. It is before it is 1956, but now it is revised in 2013. So what is this act is giving to you? That information. Indian Companies Act is giving the information to every Indian people who want to form a company in Indian geographical condition or in Indian democratic boundaries. So in these types of law, the government of India giving the information to the people to how to begin a company or how to form any types of company or how to run that company in a day-to-day life. In the same way, the new law is that GST law. Okay, GST is giving you information about the how to selling goods, how to produce goods, how to collect in tax from that. Every types of that. All the information about that goods and service tax is given in that law. It is formed by the government, not by the individual people. If suppose I am taking so that I have to be not pay the tax on any something, it is not my own choice, because it is a formed by the state. I have to obey that rule. Okay, I cannot change by with myself, or any two people or any group of people cannot say that we are not going to obey that rule, because it is a state form law. The second law or second type is that the private, or I have to simply say that the individual. Okay, individual law. When two or more people are coming together and making some types of rule or set of rules to working for some types of the works, that rules or that sets of rules are converted into the private or individual law. There are the various examples for that. Okay, the main thing is that the contract which are going to be studied in upcoming time, that this is also when two peoples are making contract with each other, that is also called as a private law. Or we are suppose going to be any type of trip, okay, we and our friends, or we are playing cricket. When we are playing cricket, okay, it is the international board ICC are making some of the rules for that. But if suppose we are playing in our home and we are making some of the rules for as our own, don't hit at there, this is out, or something at anything which are making by you of the people, but it is not enforceable. It is very generic form. I am just giving you such a example. So there are the two form of law, and my main example or main reason is giving to this example is that our contract when two people are making that contract, that is come under the private contract. But the Indian Contract Act, which is formed by the government, it is come under the state form contract. It means the contract, when two people are making contract, it is comes under the private contract. But when we are looking for the whole contract which is structured by the government, it is come under the state form contract. So it is the first point which we are studied. Then we are going to be understand what is the Indian Contract Act 1872. So let's start that. Point number second, Indian Contract Act. So here I am giving you some brief information on about this Contract Act. As we know that the India is independent in 1947, but before that the British government is formed or ruled in India, and they are making the various laws, various rules to exactly form and regulate the Indian society. So into that there is a one contract, the Indian Contract Act. In a simply way we can say that it is one of the oldest act which are the governed or which has to be constituted by the British government to regulate the Indian people or humans of the peoples of the India. So what is the Indian Contract Act 1872? It is one type of the public contract, and it is a commercial contract which are made by the British government. It is based on the British Common Act. British Common Act is the base for the Indian Contract Act, from which all rules, regulation is taken for the making of the Indian Contract Act. It is a form, or it is going to be regulated in India from 1st September 1872. On 1st September 1872, the Indian Contract Act is going to be obligatory or statutory in a Indian contract in a whole country. But at that time, all these rules are applicable whole India excepting Jammu and Kashmir. But we all know that after the abolition of Section 372, this Contract Act is also applicable. From now, this Contract Act is also applicable to the Jammu and Kashmir, which are now separated in a Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, two separate union territories. So it is a start from 1st September 1872. So what is in a total this Contract Act, there are number of 266 sections which are giving information about the how to make contract, or which person are making contract, which type of contract we can make, and where are the various parties in that, what is the enforceable or what is the consideration. All these things are going to be expressed and going to be described in that Contract Act. So we are going to discuss about that. So start from the basics of the contract. If suppose I am giving you first information about the contract, actually it is going to be discussed in a later, but it is essential to you understand what is the Contract Act. What is a contract? So as per the section 2H of Indian Contract Act 1872, contract means any agreement which is enforceable by law. Any agreement which is enforceable by law, it is called as contract. Okay, so what is contract? Any agreement which is enforceable by law, it is called as a contract. So now question is arises, what is the agreement? Then it is agreement, then what is enforceable by law? So all these things we are going to be understand from upcoming points. So I am starting from first one, which is described in a Indian Contract Act in a section by section. The first thing is that any contract is started from the first basic thing, that is called as a offer. That is called as offer. Section 2A of Indian Contract Act 1872. What is offer? Say I am the person, I want to make anything, or I want to getting anything. For that I have need the help of any other person. I want to help of any other person. For that I have request to any other person. I have to be want the permission of that person. That why I am requesting to that people, or I am giving offer to that people to making or not to make that thing. It is not just about the making thing, but also not making of something, that is called as a offer. In a simple way we say that any person who makes or who giving offer to do anything or to abstain from doing anything, that is called as a offer, which is giving in a section 2A of Indian Contract Act 1872. This is the first thing. Then thereafter the second thing is come as a promise. Second thing is come as a acceptance. Section 2B. Section 2B, acceptance. When I am giving offer to another person, and that another person is also ready to accept that, or he is giving the concern or acceptance about that offer, then this is called as a acceptance. When the offer is made and another person accepts that, that is called as a acceptance, and then this acceptance, this offer is become as a promise. When I am giving you offer, that is not individually become a promise, but when you are getting or you are giving your consideration about that, you are making that thing, then it is acceptance, and this acceptance making the promise. Then third point is a promise. Actually it is explaining by the promiser and promisee. Promiser and promisee. So section 2C. Section 2C. So promiser is a person who make a offer. Promiser is a person who make a offer, but it is become a promiser then only when it is getting a acceptance. When the offerer has getting the acceptance, then it is become as a promiser. And a promisee is those person who giving his concern, or he is giving his agreement, I'm trying to say that his promise to making that agreement. So that is called as a promisee. These both concepts are giving the explained in a section 2C. The fourth consideration, the fourth thing which is very important in any type of the contract, if from this thing you have to be explain what for that contract is made, and that is called as a consideration. Consideration. Section 2D. Section 2D. So what is the consideration? I am giving you offer. Just we are going to be start a business. Okay, I am giving you we are going to start the business, but from start one, when I am going to be accept that one, when I have to get something from that. Okay, you say that we just going to be doing something and all the profit is gaining by you, then I am not getting anything from that, then I am accepting that? No. In any type of contract, it is essential that the both of the parties have a something consideration or something to get. In a simple way, we say that in a contract, the parties or the promiser or a promisee getting something that is called as a consideration, or the main thing from which or main reason to making that contract is called as a consideration. This is the basic term which have to be fulfilled by the any contract. After the fulfilling of this consideration term, any agreement or any promise and offer is become as a agreement. But one thing I have to be noted in that, the consideration must be valid. Valid, it means it is a right or it is a legally acceptable. Okay, I am not saying you that if suppose we are making that business and after that making business I have to be murdered someone, or we are going to be smuggling something. Okay, we cannot make consideration of the smuggling any term or anything, because it is not legal by the law. Consideration, it is a benefit. Okay, it is very good to getting benefit, but benefit in a term of under the jurisdiction of law, not in any of the way. Because if the consideration is not in a legal bound, then your all the contract terms is going to be collapse. It is not fulfilling under the Indian Contract Act. As per I am starting, you say that the contract is a private, but the Indian Contract Act is a public thing. So consideration is must be in a legal bound. And the fifth thing which is essential for that contract is agreement. Okay, under the section 2E, under section 2E, any type of consideration, acceptance or promise is coming together, then it is become as a agreement. So how this agreement is made? So agreement with means when two or more parties are getting to accept or ready to work in together for something consideration, that is called as a agreement. That is called as a agreement. When two or more parties, which are the whatever the parties are there are, they are ready to do work under the certain promise for the specific consideration, that is called as a agreement. And this agreement is going to be formed as a contract, but still the agreement is not legally enforceable. I am trying to say that the agreement can be various for things. Okay, I am in a family. Okay, I am in family, we are any two of your friends. you are just saying that we are going to be see the film. We are going to be see the film. I am giving him offer, he accept that, he accepting that, I have promiser, he is a promisee. Thereafter we are consideration that we are going to be enjoy that cinema, something of the cinema is that what, and you are accept that consideration and it is become agreement. But in that time, at the time of that show, you are not able to come. At that time, I am not making you legally bound. I cannot sue on you and cannot making any type of the complaint about it, because it is an agreement. Yes, it is an agreement, but it is not become as a contract, because there are the more circumstances in that term to become any agreement to as a contract. So consideration is important. So in a simple way, I am just concluding this agreement is as the any promise or any offer getting acceptance, it is become as a agreement. It is become as a agreement. So it is the whole basic elements. These are the basic elements of making any agreement. And for the contract, there are the one more term. For a contract, there is a one more term, and it is very important term to make a contract. So what is that thing? That is the point number 6. That is the enforceable by law. Enforceable by law. It is enforceable by law. Enforceable by law, it is a legal bound under the law, under any type of law. I am not specifically saying about the Contract Act, but it is essential to Contract Act, but it is more than a Contract Act. It is any type of the contract which are made or which is enforceable by any law. So if this thing is come with a agreement, then it is become as a contract. So in a short way, if I am saying, I am lastly you explaining about the agreement. The agreement is a social, it is family, it is anything, but enforceable by law. So enforceable by anything. Enforceable by anything. So which things are going to be enforceable to you? If you making any legal deal or any paperwork thing which is going to be enforceable by you. So what is this? These are the, I am giving you simple example. If you take any currency of Reserve Bank of India, in that currency there is a simple wording is written from that, the such person I am giving promise to giving such and such person to this is who hold that currency in a term of currency. I am giving to return for that currency's value. This promise is made by the governor of Reserve Bank of India to paying that amount to something person. That is enforceable by law. That is enforceable law. If suppose tomorrow the RBI governor is not ready to pay for that, then you can sue against him. You can making complaint against the governor that he's make that promise on this note, but is not ready to pay for that. It is legally bound. And what is not enforceable by law? If suppose you are going to your home and your father or your friend is promising to say that tomorrow I will giving you 1000 rupees for something, and tomorrow morning when you are going to him and he says he's just going to be discouraged that no, I am not giving you money and today I don't have money. So for that thing you cannot sue on your parent, your friend, because it is not enforceable law. It is a very private or I am trying to say that it is a personal contract or agreement made by this. This is not making any written statement for that. So these things are going to be understood by you. The any agreement which is enforceable by law, it is become as a contract. So in a last I am conclude that for all this lecture of the contract, that any type of contract is when have to be made, there is the essential thing in a simple mathematical form. I have to be explained that the any agreement is plus with the enforcement of law, then it is become as a contract. Any agreement is a plus with the enforcement of law, it is become a as a contract. So today's lecture we are going to be studied all these things and revise all the lectures in just making some summarize all that things. Firstly, we understand the what is the law, what is the nature of law, various types of law, social law, your religious law, your nature law, all these things. Thereafter we are studying the short history of the Indian Contract Act 1872, which is formed by the British government on the base of the British common law. Thereafter we are going to understand the what is a contract, which is explained in a section 2H of the Indian Contract Act 1872, and the basic elements of that, which are the elements: the offer, the promisor and promisee, the acceptance, the consideration, the agreement, and in the last the enforceable by law or enforcement of law. So all these things are coming together and making any type of contract which is enforceable by Indian Contract Act 1872. Okay, thank you.